Hi there, Libra. Welcome to Straight Talking Tarot. This month's reading, I've got the Wandering Star Tarot deck here at the foundation of the reading, and I've got 3 cards at the top from the Healing with the Fairies Oracle deck, which is by Doreen Virtue, one of her early decks from many moons ago. Okay, without further ado, let's have a look. I feel like what I was getting earlier on was opening up to something new. Okay, and also I feel like some of you really need to do some letting go. All right, there's been some kind of problems of a sense of stagnation, and I feel like you're coming to a sense of knowing that something has to be released and something has to. I feel like you've learned a lesson, or you're able to see something quite clearly now, and I feel like you're letting go of what's held you back, what's held you feeling stuck. Okay, it could be a mental thing where you kind of feel like you can't have more than what you have, or having to play a role in your life that has held you back as well for some of you. Okay, so this is just sort of what I was picking up, but let's have a look at what the cards have to say. All right, so yeah, there's also, this is really nice. So here we've got a sense of victory. So, you know, if you've been feeling that way and you've come to this point of realizing you really deserve to feel victorious. All right, if you look at this owl, it's carrying these, unlike the other Rider-Waite, this owl is sitting on these branches, it's clutching it all, so it's as if it's amassed this sort of inner knowing and all these elements of itself, and is able to sort of stand there and has collated it all. And there's a sense of kind of affirmation of who you've become, who you're becoming, and what you need to do. All right, and this is something that you have cultivated on as well. Okay, there's a lot of wisdom here, because yeah, you know, you're letting go of the burdens. I've got 2 cards in this middle position here. Okay, and you've got the strength as well. Okay, I've just literally opened it to the camera. So whatever it is, it's going to take for some of you, it's going to take quite a lot of strength to actually break away from some of the responsibilities that you've been doing, and in some way overburdening yourself. Okay, because you know, nobody burdens us. We end up doing it ourselves. We feel like we somehow take on that mantle, or it's been programmed since we're kids. You know, you maybe be the eldest in the family and you become the kind of the nourisher or the enabler, or taking care of, you know, whatever, and becomes your programming. And I feel like in some way that you are coming to a point when you really want to release this and get yourself, like I said, released out. But this is going to take some courage and strength for some of you. For some of you, you've actually arrived at this point, which is actually releasing yourself of the burdens, you know, and feeling that things are, you know, burnout is the word I'm thinking of as well. All right, so if some of you are feeling burnout, do not feel afraid to actually take control and charge of your life, and actually say, no, this is enough. This is all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do any more. I'm going to say no. And like I said, letting go, you know, that word that came to my mind earlier was letting go of responsibilities, letting go of having to do and be everything for everybody. Librans, you're very good at doing, oh my God, look at this last card. You're very good at doing that, because Libra, also we've moved into nodes, okay? So the nodal axis shift has now moved to the north node in where Aries, and south node in Libra. Now Libra south node is all about balance in our relationship. So if you've got Libra placement, or you've got a lot of planets in Libra, or you've got your node, south or north node in Libra, this definitely would be a time of transformation for you, this period for the next 18 months. But I feel that with all north nodes, all Librans, because of the south node placing in your sign, okay, it is definitely going to be asking you to make a shift and make changes. And look at this change card. So this, for me, is the biggest and the highest order of change. Now, if you don't do it yourself, okay, the universe is going to do it for you. And somebody else got, another sign got this card as well in the same placing. All right, about a few readings ago. It could have been Cancer, actually. I didn't jot down the tarot cards that came up, but it's definitely there. So it is definitely a time of release. So if you've actually been holding on to a sense of responsibility, for some of you it could have been holding on to some kind of relationship that's giving you the strength and the courage to do it with another, but now it's about letting go so you can actually do it on your own. All right, wherever you are, some of you have maybe held on to a relationship because you felt it was safe, and now it's become a burden, okay, and you feel you're tied back. Okay, maybe burnt at the stake. Maybe this person's putting you down, or actually making you feel really small, or making demands over you. All right, this is a real time now for you to start sort of stepping into that wisdom of the owl and seeing it for what it is. And if you look at the owl has incredible eyes and vision and can see things very clearly. All right, and I think it's now time for you Librans to step into that. So I just had to take some water. Okay, and it's really important that, you know, that with this kind of phase that we're going through, that you actually become clear in what you value, what is it that you want. You know, are you being held back by a partner and you feel no sense of freedom? Some of you could be in a possessive relationship and it's going to take courage to leave that situation, okay? But be honest with yourself. It takes courage to be really honest and brutally honest, all right? And that's the only way we can really move from a situation. If some of you have been feeling stuck and a bit stale as well, which I'm picking up, it's really a good time for you to get into your body and do some dancing movement work to help you release from feeling kind of quite restricted and contracted. All right, sometimes we can be so used to being a certain way we forget what it's like to be a bit more liberated, and by doing activities like certain body movements that we can actually liberate ourselves by being spontaneous in our physical embodiment, which means we will start acting that out in our outer world, okay, as well. Let's move on to the wow, that's so weird. That's another card. This could be the same. We've got the card of vacation in the same spot as well. The first card that opened up. Let's have a look. Being honest with yourself. This is what I was saying earlier on. Look at that. And sensuality. Very interesting. All right. So I do feel like some of you, I'm just going to read it from the table here right now for a moment, that you do need to take a break, okay, from your chores, from your responsibilities, or for being and doing whatever you've been doing. All right, for some of you, it could be a literal vacation that you're taking. It is a summer holidays after all. But I feel this, to me, is more of a psychological break. I'm picking up a break where you need to actually really start evaluating and being honest with yourselves. I think some of you sort of fallen into a role which has had you hindered, okay? And now it's really time to actually, you know, really speak to yourself and get into your core, your solar plexus, if you like, okay? So you can really burn away what doesn't really fit you anymore. All right. Some of you also, it could be, which is interesting as well, maybe I've got this card of sexuality here. This maybe is for some of you playing a role, okay, as a woman in your relationship, okay, maybe holding on to what you think, you know, a relationship is and a form of relating. All right, maybe some of you holding yourself on too tightly as well, the kind of role that you're playing, the kind of the martyr role, or the woman that kind of nurtures herself and nourishes herself. I know, while there's no kind of you know, distinction between a male person reading this or looking at this, I am going to be really honest, and I'm picking up more, this is to do with a woman now, so I'm speaking to a female person here more than anything else. So again, if you've been held back or you've been hiding yourself to the truth of who you want to be, sometimes these rules are really quite hard to change, and it's going to require strength. But if, you know, so use your own strength to make the changes that you want to get out of this sort of, maybe the kind of role that you've ended up playing, okay? This now is the time of you to release the impression, the robe, you know, the costume. For some reason I'm looking at that green dress as well, and it's like you've kind of, you know, made yourself look or be or act in a certain way that doesn't really fit you anymore, and now it's time for you to release the womanness, the person that you're in, okay? And then maybe the femininity, and this could work for both sexes now as well, okay? So again, if you've been over masculine in your role, you might want to tap into that more softer side of yourself. You know, there are a lot of women who also are in the masculine. They're the doers, they're the organizers, they're the initiators, they take charge, and the men have sat back, and then you're doing all this stuff. So again, just be mindful of where that balance needs to be. I am actually going to look at this card. No, it's just in alphabetical order. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, I mean, this also, the sexuality card, also says to me here, it says the card meaning All right, it actually says, by drawing this card, you're urged to be honest with yourself about your sexuality and the appropriate steps to take. So I feel like in some way, like I said, you've been really playing a role. All right, some of you, and I'm going to read it as that maybe it's even in a work environment where you become the yes person, the person who does everything, and maybe you're really tired of that, and then you've kind of been burdened with this, and this is a time for you to be honest with yourself. All right, just make sure that you're guided to heal any of the issues. Some of you as well, it could be actually any kind of sexual issues that you might have or been harboring. Maybe you had some experiences later on in your teenage life, or some point in your life where you were actually experienced some kind of abuse of some kind, okay? And it's really important that now it's time to address it and release it. Again, doing some body work, doing some somatic body work could be really appropriate for some of you at this time, okay? Something is wanting to be released and let go of, like I said, and it could be that as well. Like I said, this is a general reading, so some of you might want to seek getting some help, some counseling, or go to some group counseling if that is something that you feel that you need to do. All right, but I think it's really important that if you've become one of these female, I know so many women who are like this as well, they've forgotten to be in the feminine and they've become the masculine in the relationship. And it's really hard a pattern to break, a dynamic to break, particularly in a relationship that's already existing, because both partners have got used to it. So maybe in some way, some of you, this is speaking to you, you need to take time out from this and really be honest with yourself so you can readdress what is important to you, and maybe how you can bring some sexual chemistry back into your relationship. All right, otherwise something can definitely implode. And some of you, I will say this as well, you could be on the way of something really coming to a head, and something dramatically ending, okay? It will be a new opportunity. I'm looking here at the bottom of the oracle deck. I've got problem resolve, new opportunities, and body movement as well, and beauty. So for sure, I feel that some of you, you really, it's a great opportunity for you to create a new opportunity where you're coming through a new self by being honest with yourself. In some cases also, because it's the back end, you might get a new opportunity, a new job, a new situation, a new partner, but it's a really good time for the work that you've done and having the strength that you've done is to be honest with yourself and not to divert yourself from what you know to be true because you're afraid to show up as your remarkable, sensual woman as well, a woman who knows what she wants. There's something about her as well which I love, that she's gazing straight out. She's there naked, but at the same time sort of there's a sense of mystery, but she's not afraid to be who she is, okay? And she's showing up as she wants to be. And also she's got that vessel, so that vessel is almost like a magic pot, all right, of her creativity, of her everything in some way, okay? A vessel's a container of who she is. So I'm going to leave the card readings here. I hope it's spoken to some of you. This is definitely a time for you to get sort of victorious in your own way. Some of you could be celebrating already because maybe you've mastered this and this is resonating more as already what has happened. For some of you, this could be what it could be happening and coming into place. But this definitely is a time for you to release any sense of mental poverty and breaking through the crap. Okay, we've got two swords here at the bottom deck of the Wandering Star Tarot. I've got the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Swords and the Magician. Wow. All right. And then the Five of Pentacles. So I feel like in some way you're definitely moving away from a sense of poverty consciousness, both emotionally, spiritually, and certainly financially. Okay, getting rid of the sense of not enoughness. All right, and I think this has come because we've got the Hierophant right at the bottom of the deck here as well. And this is about you've acquired some wisdom, or you're actually tapping into maybe even seeking some mentoring or coaching as well that could really help you to do that. All right, if you want any of that, of course, I offer these services, so my link is below. But otherwise, I'm just going to leave the reading here, and I'm going to jump into the chakras and to see what chakra for the next sort of month, as long as you want it, will help you during this journey of being honest with yourself. Let's have a look. Okay, so it's a sacral chakra, which I also feel is not only a solar plexus theme, but a sacral chakra theme as well. And these two cards certainly invoke that. Okay, look at the colors are very much orange and kind of yellow. okay, which is here. Let me get my feather. Today I've got my feather. So again, another sign got the sacral chakra as well. This is about being in integrity, making choices that are empowering, all right, making choices that allow you to be truly authentic in your femaleness or your sensuality, in your feminine, all right. I always find that this also is very much where the womb is. So this is birthing of new ideas, birthing of your femaleness, your feminineness as well, and also going inward to be open and honest about who you are. Okay. Oh, this is really great. This is really great. This is an affirmation I'm going to read to do with the sacral chakra. Okay, and I say this is really great excitedly because this is sort of the thing I was thinking about, and I hopefully conveyed it already. But it says, I avoid continually sacrificing my own happiness for others by rescuing and enabling them, as doing this may hinder both personal growth for both of us. Okay, so I hope I did say that, because sometimes, you know, when you're sort of, I don't like to use the word channeling, but when we're doing these card readings, you know, they're just these messages coming through and we're expressing it in a certain way. But the feeling I was getting was having to let go of that responsibility, that burden. Okay, and I really did feel some of you have been playing a role. All right, so I'm going to read it again. I avoid continually sacrificing my own happiness for others by rescuing and enabling them, as doing this may hinder may hinder personal growth for both of us. So the sacral chakra, okay, the sound for the sacral chakra is O. All right, you can repeat it several times, breath in, breath out, and the sound of O, right? And you can, sort of repeat this mantra that I just shared, and I'll hopefully put it across the screen for you so you've got it. Or if not, it'll be in the description box as well, so you can actually use it, all right? And I really recommend that you do this in order to break patterns. Working with the chakras really help to break the energetic cords or patterns that we've got. And this is why I so believe in the chakras, because it's incredibly powerful work. It's just not mental work, but it's energetic work, and it really helps to break patterns. So that's your sacral chakra for you guys, Librans. Now I'm going to move quickly to the Oracle of the Roses as a bonus card, with it being Venus retrograde. I felt like bringing out this beautiful deck. I love this. I keep on showing you. Look how beautiful this deck is. And see what Rose Oracle wants to convey itself to help you along for the next time. Here, the stuff into my hand. Okay, being the hero. Oh my God, I love it when the cards really start talking and synchronizing with the readings. Okay, so for me, this hero, the Sunburst Rose, is about being the hero to yourself. Okay, you being the hero, you being honest with yourself. And again, it's the kind of solar plexus and the orange, the sacral chakra color there. All right, so this is about you being, your own heroine, okay, saving yourself, being responsible for your own happiness and creating that for you. So let's have a quick look at what number, this is number 36. So again, number 9, this is about the ending of something as well, finishing off a cycle. Okay, so it starts with saying keep going with what you're currently working on, because there's a strong indication of positive outcomes and eventual success, which is very much the Six of Wands as well. All right, this is always a card of victory, sort of mastering the things that you've been working on. Okay, a mentor could be a valuable asset at the moment. Okay, I did say that as well, get a coach or a mentor or anything like that. Okay, look to them for an example as well as personal advice, as you are being shown the way rather than having to seek it. Okay, so again, if you need my services, it's all down in the link below. The hero is willing to take on challenges and sacrifice for others on the way to improving the world in certain situations. Okay, now with this, I'm also going to stand by the not to go down the route of enabling, okay, and being the rescuer. Okay, there's a difference between being the activist and doing something for the betterment of the world and the planet, for sure. Definitely, if that's where your energy is, go for it. Okay, that's what you've been thinking about, go for it. Okay, they thrive in leadership roles, provide inspiration, motivation for others, especially those who have lost their drive. Okay, but again, this is a double-edged sword message for me regarding you guys, as hopefully you take what resonates, but in terms of be the heroine of your own self, firstly and foremost, I would say this, and also lead by example, but do not be the enabler or the person who's doing all the leading in your partnerships, especially if you're as a woman. I've seen and met so many women who are very dislodged because of that role they've taken on, and they've become the martyr, the rescuer, and the supporter of a relationship where the man has been emasculated, or more so, has become very passive and is sitting back and actually creating a lot of tension and disruption in relationships. Okay, so it says here, if you were to be a mentor, what would you be sharing? So this is really to do with the goals, challenges, determination, courage, and improvement. So again, really using the strength card here, which I feel that's because it's come up in your reading, it's ready to be taken on, and using that as a way to move forward in your life. Okay, be honest with yourself, guys. Really create the life that you want by being absolutely clear in how you want things to work out for you. All right, my dear Librans, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching, and thank you for all the new subscribers. Anything else, all the details are below, and I will do my next video in a couple of weeks' time, and there might be something in between that, so do subscribe so you can actually have an update of what else I could be posting. Lots of love. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now. Bye.